I've mentioned this numerous times before, but it definitely bears mentioning once again, and that is the value proposition that Microsoft brings to the Xbox, and especially the Xbox Series X at this particular time. It's not just all about the features and things like that. It's always about the games, and no matter how many times I push that, people still look at me like I'm crazy sometimes when I bring up that it's all about the games. And one of the things that Microsoft is doing better than they ever have, as far as I'm concerned, is bring people games to play. Now, I realize that not everything is exclusive and that there's a caveat with console exclusivity versus, full-on exclusivity, and we probably won't see full-on exclusivity ever again on Xbox, or maybe not even any platform in the future aside from Nintendo. But with that being said, this bit of news, this announcement, just goes to show you that Microsoft is kicking off this year the right way with the right things, and that you can't really say enough good things about that, right? Like, let's just be honest about this for a second. Microsoft came a long way from where they were with the Xbox One. I mean, nobody's talking about 720p anymore. Nobody's talking about any of that stuff. And believe it or not, even some of the bad stuff like scale-bound cancellation, people aren't talking about that stuff anymore. So this is something that I feel like everybody is talking about, this particular bit of news, and it keeps that momentum rolling for Microsoft. And that's exactly what they need to happen. This is going to be a video you don't want to miss. Hey there everyone, I'm the Crapgamer, and of course this is Crapgamer Reviews, your home for gaming news, opinions, reviews, and much more. You'll probably notice some changes around here, but hopefully that doesn't stop you from giving us a like, and possibly maybe even consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your free time with me today. It really does mean a lot. You guys are amazing, and I'm so appreciative of everything you guys have been doing. It really does blow my mind. So, we know that the value proposition is there for Xbox. Traditionally, if you buy a new console or you get a new console for somebody, there's a lot of other things involved. You got to buy a bunch of games, online, all this kind of stuff. And some of that stuff still rings true, right? Like, traditionally. Those traditional console kind of things are still there, obviously. Microsoft still charges to play online, not free-to-play games anymore, thankfully. Sony charges to play online. Even Nintendo charges to play online. But with that being said, you do have Game Pass, which is looking like a very good value, and which is going to have to carry Microsoft through the first part of the year, I believe, this year. And that's not to say that they're not going to have anything that anybody's interested in, because there's going to be stuff, and there's going to be the lists, right? We're all very aware of the lists, right? So what I mean by the lists is it's usually third-party games, indies, AA, stuff like that, that is going to be coming to Game Pass day and date, and then probably eventually come to PlayStation a little bit later on. This is just the way things work now. Just to name a few, stuff like Crossfire X, Scorn, Stalker 2, these are the type of games that are going to come out that are, those Game Pass type games. But one game, probably one of my favorite games from last year and previous years as well, but the Mass Effect Legendary Edition is coming to Xbox Game Pass along, some other big titles this week on Game Pass. So honestly, I was so far and so into this game series last year. Like, I spent hundreds of hours into it, right? Like, on Xbox, I had to have it. If you have an Xbox Series X, you can play it at 120 frames. It's fantastic. Mass Effect Legendary Edition will be added to Xbox Game Pass later this week, Microsoft has announced. The year's remastered Mass Effect collection will be added to Microsoft's subscription service on January 6th. The Legendary Edition includes the single-player campaigns of the original 3 Mass Effect games and over 40 DLCs, all remastered and optimized for 4K. Also joining Game Pass on January 6th are Ember and The Outer Wilds. So, available today via the service, there's a total of 3 ID at Xbox games. Gorogia, Olesia, and The Pedestrian, Spelunky 2, the Anacrusis, which I kind of have mentioned before. So, yeah, but I think the big one, the big meat and potatoes, basically are, going to be the Mass Effect collection. Because, look, let's just be real. A lot of people's games might have been kind of slowing down. Maybe you beat Halo and you're a little bit tired of playing that and you want to play something, one of the best single player experiences you can find. Well, why not hop on Xbox and, you know, play some Mass Effect trilogy? It's literally one of the best narrative stories you can find, and to be able to play all three, I gotta tell you, if you haven't given yourself the pleasure of doing that, by all means go and do it, because those are some of the most fantastic games, and they hold up incredibly well. The changes that they made to the first game all really help it out, even though I would say the first one is more of an RPG. You still notice that it has some flaws there, compared to like the second one, and even the third one I thought was fantastic. But honestly, you know, clearly people want to feel a certain way about that ending. Take it for what it's worth or whatever. But yeah, this just goes to show the value proposition that Microsoft has. Sony themselves see it. That's why they're trying to do some kind of competition for it. And to be honest with you, I always felt like Sony could have done something much better with PlayStation Now. Not even talking about the streaming stuff. Let's take that out of the equation completely. But let's just talk about the games that they put in there. The reason why Game Pass just looks so much better is, I mean, let's just be real, is because they put a lot of stuff, the smaller stuff, in day and date. It wouldn't break the bank for Sony to do the same, right? Like, what I'm saying is they don't have to do everything just like Microsoft. They don't have to do first party day and date, but you can still get some of the smaller stuff. They even done it with PlayStation Plus, right? That Oddworld game was day and date. They did Fall Guys day and date. I think they did, you know, I'm using some older examples, of course, but you know, they also did like Soccer Cars, or excuse me, Rocket League day and date. So yeah, there's a lot of different things that's kind of going on, but it really just goes in to show that there are definitely a lot of great things happening in the gaming industry right now. And in terms of value proposition, man, if you can get an Xbox Series S or an X, man, play through those three games for the value. I mean, those are some of the best games of all time. Those are some of the GOATs right there. You know, play them, enjoy them, you know, see what they're all about. I think that that's what people are going to be most excited for in the future. You know, like, play these type of games. We're all going to see how exciting it can be and how great things can get in the future. And again, if you're just maybe looking for something to kind of play to tide you over a little bit, if you're an Xbox only owner or something, then there you have it. You know, you can literally sink hundreds of hours into these games, and it's well worth it. And it's something that I think people will probably really be appreciative of. So I know I just kind of giving you guys the heads up, saying, hey, play the game. It's well worth it. You know, it's going to be something that, hey, just tide yourself over until some of the other bigger stuff comes out later the year. That's what it's all about, folks. But with that being said, I do want to say I appreciate each and every one of you. If you do enjoy my content, and why wouldn't you, please leave us a like and share it out. Tell your friends and everybody else. Hopefully you guys are, you know, having a great new year so far. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crap Gamer 'em up. Crap Gamer out.